Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to our channel and thanks for logging on. If you enjoy these videos, do me a favor and subscribe to our YouTube channel right here at Watchbox Reviews. I'd really appreciate it, and then you can get watches like this in your inbox on a daily basis. If you like the watches, you can buy them on thewatchbox.com. Buy, trade, and sell luxury watches on thewatchbox.com. Today, we are discussing the Jaeger-LeCoultre Amvox R-Alarm, technically part of the original Amvox1 line, whereas the 2005 Amvox1 was a 42mm titanium, steel, or precious metal alarm system. This was a 44 and offered only in limited series of 500 in titanium and 150 in platinum, and this is the platinum model. 44mm, thus bigger and bolder than the standard Amvox1. A version of this watch was actually worn by Lou Reed, so this is often described as the Lou Reed on internet fora. The timepiece sits easily on my wrist as the 44mm case is relatively compact from lug to lug. You can see the lugs are short, stubby, and downturned in rather dramatic fashion. Only 49mm lug to lug puts it safely within the 50mm or fewer that I consider essential for proper fit on a smaller male wrist of 14 to 16.5 centimeters. It is a thick watch, however, with a dramatically box section and domed profile sapphire designed to evoke a vintage plexiglass. It is a 15.5mm thick watch. It is wonderfully hefty, all in platinum with a solid platinum case back. This one has real wrist presence, eyes open or closed. Now you'll note to better advantage just how short those lugs are, and you can see this is a 44 that wears like it's the 42. The strap itself a little bit more handsome than the pseudo carbon fiber pattern in green on the titanium version. This one a more traditional driver's combination, Aston Martin inspired, of bridge of wear leather in black with a contrasting white stitch. You can see on the underside calfskin to match, very supple, very soft, and the buckle is white gold. JLC reasoning that white gold being considerably harder than platinum, it's a better choice for a double folding clasp with small swing arms. So a white gold clasp, and you'll note it has a profile underneath to cup and trace the contour of your wrist, so an extra measure of security while donning or removing at bedside to prevent accidental droppage. You'll note there is a semi-curved spring bar that helps the lugs be drilled a bit closer to the case. So by drilling the lugs closer to the case, JLC needs to use a curved spring bar to avoid having the strap pinned against the case flank. So there's no stiffness as a result of the close drilled lugs thanks to the curved spring bar. You'll also note, for those who can't stand IWC's common practice of writing one of 250, 100, 150, JLC not only gives you true individual numbering with a individually engraved plaque, and a mounted plaque at that on the flank, but you can see it again individually engraved on the case back, doubling up. The lines are simple but handsome. As you can see, the clear inspiration for the Amvox1 and this Amvox1 R-Alarm was the Polaris diving alarm of 1965 to 1968. Truth be told, some prototypes were made in 63, but we'll follow the company line of 65 to 68. The faceting of the lugs, the shear of the case flank, and yes, the box section of the sapphire all evoke the original Polaris diving alarm. And you can see that the sapphire is a remarkably complex and expensive piece. First, it has this box section vertical aspect to create the look of the old plexiglass, and then it has one of the most dramatic bubble-like domed profiles in tandem with the box section that I've ever encountered on a mass-produced watch. If you can call 150 pieces mass-produced, this watch looks and feels special. Let me show you that edge of the box section sapphire again. Okay, the dial. Once again, we're drawing liberally from the Polaris diving alarm in the font of the numerals used, as well as the hands, which were featured on a small number of 1968 Polaris units shipped from Le Sentier. What you will note, though, is that the dial not only reprises the Polaris's hands, font, and internal rotating bezel, but a number of elements have been added with inspiration drawn from Aston Martin. And now you can see that the bottom of the dial is not calibrated. That's because this is the Amvox series. You can see the Aston Martin company name and winged logo on the reverse side. And that's because from the 1920s through the 1990s, Jaeger gauges tachymeters and speedometers were used in Aston Martin road cars, so there's real history here. It's not your typical shotgun marriage of car brand and watch brand. This is actually the first time the Aston logo has appeared on a Jaeger-LeCoultre rather than the other way around, as the Jaeger gauges for decades on board Aston Martins, and thus the bottom of a tachometer and speedometer in a car would not be calibrated, so neither is the bottom of this dial calibrated. You can also see the intermediate staggered sizes of the numerals as you would find on a speedometer or a tachometer. And finally, at center, a splash of yellow. You'll note intermediate calibrations designed to help you set the alarm more precisely, and a anthracite hobnail pattern, a beautiful take on the classic Amvox setting disc. So what can you do here? Well, you can set the index bidirectionally, you can line it up with the minute hand. Now you have an impromptu 0 to 60 minute timer, so it has a little bit of a chronograph function or a dive function, even though, make no mistake, this is 50 meters water resistant, not 100 or more. And then you have a date, you have the alarm, and you have the conventional time telling functions. There will be a Lume Shot, stay tuned. Let's talk about the alarm first. First, wind it with the crown in the neutral position, pull the crown out, and now you can turn and you can line it up, and I'm going to sound off the alarm here. And that wasn't even fully wound. That's the caliber 918, 45-hour power reserve, automatic winding bidirectional. It's a movement launched in 1983 that was discontinued in roughly 2008 with the tribute to Polaris. Very vocal alarm, 22 joules, based on the original 916, the first bidirectional winding automatic Amvox of 1969. It does feature hacking seconds, so if you pull the crown that's used for setting and winding the watch, you can stop the seconds hand, but it has a quirky old school semi-quick set date where you have to back it to and fro through midnight in order to advance the date in rapid succession. So this is a watch that offers a little bit of vintage running gear with a vocal alarm capability, the utility of the bidirectional internal rotating bezel, the exclusivity of 150-piece limited edition, the style that has already stood the test of time via Jaeger gauges and the original Polaris diving alarm, as well as the prestige that comes from being authentically associated with an automotive brand to which JLC really does have close historic ties. This is a watch that puts it all together. A big watch that's comfortable to wear, and one of the most distinctive alarms in modern JLC history. You know the Amvox R-Alarm at a glance. Platinum, black, and yellow. This one can charm a fellow. See it and make it yours on our website. Okay, and we're back with the Jaeger-LeCoultre Amvox R-Alarm. As you can see, plenty of luminescence, an easy watch to read at night. See it by the light of day on thewatchbox.com.